Good morning. I am here with Chiara Natale, and I'm Allegra Stuart, and I'm here with my new series called Back to the Real. This is number 3 in our series. We are here. I'm in New Orleans, and where are you, Chiara?
Ciao, Allegra. Very, very pleased and nice to meet you. I'm so happy to meet you here. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, Chiara. The first question I ask everybody is, where are you? And then the biggest one is, how do you know me?
Oh, okay. I live in Naples. So Naples, I mean, not in Florida, but in Italy. And we met because I take pictures of you because you are very keen of Naples, no? Very passionate about my city.
And by the way, this is a photo that Chiara took back in the time when we were photographing. And I'm not sure what square this was, but I love that it was black and white and it was just so beautiful.
Yeah,
The
this
way
is the
that you took it. Yeah.
thank you. This is the close to the Santa Chiara's church in the old town. No, you remember we went to the old town, and I can never forget when when I at some point I asked you to take a walk, and so okay, let's walk through the streets and maybe walk towards me, and you were running actually instead of walking. So I asked Allegra, please, just a little bit slow. No, that we were not that friendly already. So I mean, not that friends at the time. So I said, oh, please go slowly. And you said, hey, I live in New York, so we live this way.
And that leads us to the fact that, Chiara was the photographer, and I sought out Chiara many years ago. Because her photography. I mean, it's amazing. And at that time, I only saw portraits from the wedding photography, but then I could already see this different side of Chiara. Tell us more about how you became a photographer and what your path was there.
Yeah, yeah. To be totally honest, I started with advertising photography. Then I switched to photographing people. I mean, mainly real people, not models, no, not on the stage usually. So then I decided to go alone. I mean, without a studio, and going with weddings and portraits and more on that side. And so I began doing this. Doing this, and it was very, very fulfilling to me because I met a lot of interesting people from all over the world. So it was very, very beautiful to start this business. And by the way, lots of changing along the road, along the path, because I'm very passionate about a lot of styles in photography. So I I always see a lot of different styles and changing in photography, along the way. Not I mean not mine, but from the culture, from the society all around us. So I always try to see and to catch what I love. No, it's a kind of a mix, I
So
think.
I do realize that you originally had gone studying marketing and advertising. Has that did that how did that help, and or how did that hinder your photography process after you changed to be full-time photographer in projects like that?
Oh yes, I studied SEO, so the optimization for the Google and all the okay, for the internet. And it was very, very helping to me. Now all the things are changed because of the AI, so we have to always stay on the point, no, always to run behind the stuff that is changing. So, but this is very interesting, and it was very helpful to me. I mean, not mainly the marketing. I don't feel myself as a marketing expert, of course. I'm just passionate about that. I'm really passionate about art, so that's why I began studying art at a very quite quite old age, I have to say.
Oh,
Because
is that does that lead us into what you were talking about earlier, or because I have to say, obviously, when I was coming to Naples, you look online, you see people's work and da 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 da. But you stuck out to me. And I guess that's probably what I saw is the idea that you had really gone into the appreciation of artistic and the way that you took your angles, the way that you used your light, the way that you use film and
yeah.
not just the digital aspect, but you actually use film. Could you tell us maybe a little more about that process and how, because it's more difficult, right?
Yeah.
And we know that now people usually take the harder way, but this is the one of the things that really gravitated me to your practice and what you were doing is the fact that you were kind of like going old school.
Yeah, 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 exactly. And I love it. And that's, I remember that that's the reason, one of the reason why you just then decided to write me. No, you told me, oh, so I noticed you use film. Yeah, okay. Consider that I started using film cameras. I mean, more than 20 years ago. So it was a natural path. But then, yes, of course, I use digital and I use it actually, but currently, sorry. But I'm very fond of film. I think that especially because um, of the kind of new way, or maybe old way that I want to put in my photography. It must be the main stuff. I think that the camera makes the photo. Let me explain. I don't think that it's that true when you say no. You can use any camera. Yes, of course. As a photographer, you can use anything to take a picture, but the camera makes a lot of difference, and the support makes a lot of difference because you have to be very present in the moment when you take a picture, and especially now when we live in the Instagram era and TikTok era. We have to be stuck on something real. Of course, it's not mandatory. I mean, if you want, okay. And I feel it very, very deep inside of me. And that's also the reason why I discovered. Let me use this this word, but it's not that exact. But okay, I discovered that film lets me stay more present and be more authentic, of course, because you have to embrace the imperfections. Today, sorry, I'm going a lot of
No, no,
with lot of stuff.
it's good because it parallels also to when you're recording, when you decide to go into the recording studio. Are you doing it raw to direct, or are you doing your, vocals separate, or you having a producer manipulate this? And, why do you think we have a gazillion different kinds of microphones, right? Why do we choose one studio over the other? Because of the equipment, just like you're speaking with the camera and the film that you're using. So there are parallels here. Go.
Yeah, 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 yeah. uh, I can see it. Yeah. um yes, well, nowadays I have to, of course, I think you're gonna see it around you. Lots of people are using film, no? But maybe this is how I feel about this stuff, that it is a kind of a trend, okay? So we use film always in the same way. And by the way, maybe sometimes also trying to have just digital photos, but on film. So you don't. I
Explain that because that's a
yeah.
new thing I don't even understand.
Yeah, of course. Of course, I'm a photographer, so I'm a little bit biased about that. So, no, you know, that the support makes the photo, as I told you, know, or at least it helps you viewing in some kind of ways, no. And when you use digital, especially today, there's a lot of um, going behind the perfection, the very fashionable stuff, or something like this. No, so no defeat, not everything, but
Lots of production, lots of
yeah,
production.
yeah. Also because you know everybody's taking photos, so you have to be more than the others, okay? And one of the ways is to stuck on perfection, stuck on very beautiful aesthetic photos, picture images, okay? But and now relating to film, we're just using. I mean, a lot of us, especially a photographer, we're just using the film as a support to just have the film feeling, but uh, always keeping looking in a digital way.
So,
We are
yeah, I mean, so it would be, I would say, equivalent to artists, all like five different artists singing a song and then all going to the same producer, and the producer has the all the presets and all the things. And so the end result is basically a collection from the producer, not a representation of all the individual singers, maybe that who pass through that production company. Is that something?
yeah, it is indeed. I think that the film gonna help you to feel more free, no?
A
Instead,
little authentic, more authentic, because you can
yeah.
see the AI photos. You can see what program is used on AI, and it's so obvious.
Yeah, but not only, I mean, not only AI. I think the fact is the digital conception of the pictures. No, as I told you, perfection. Okay, everything on the same line, consistency. But why? Why we need to be so consistent? No, if
I
you
don't
want.
know if it's about consistency. I want to say, because remember, I'm a teacher too, so I see what's coming through the through the pipelines here. A part of me feels like it's also a bit of laziness, right? I
Yeah,
mean, authenticity takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of background work.
yeah,
And I think that's being lost in many different forms. And I was speaking to somebody about this, an older woman about this the other day. She's like 88. She used to be my neighbor in Brooklyn. And we were talking about Michael Jackson, you know, the big Michael Jackson film that's coming. I said, well, why aren't there any new people that you can speak about like a Michael Jackson? Not that there will ever be an equivalent, but I'm a jazz artist, so we know distinctively, you know, unfortunately, we've had some greats pass just recently in the last month, but it's like we're not able to speak, just like when you talk about artists, you're not able to speak about an artistry that's happening with one person. We're talking about, you know, oh, we're all going to develop our film the same way. We're all going to go use the same systems for our editing. We're all going to go to Adobe. We're all going to use Canva. We're all going to use da da da. But being authentic, hence the reason why I call this talk back to the real, because I'm talking to artists who I feel are very authentic and usually are at the roots of what they're doing. Um, it's it's a lot of work to be just back to the real or back digging to the roots, because you have to do a lot of research, right?
yeah,
I was
yeah,
talking to another artist the other week, and he's an older artist, and he is a researcher and a writer and things like this. and that's the work you have to do. Just like you were talking about, I really had was a fan of art, and so I was studying and I was looking, and the same with your cameras. You know your cameras, you know your different films, and you can't produce different work from that unless you know that, like you know the bones.
Yeah. But think that many photographers, I mean professionals, don't know other very famous photographers. I mean, not the one that you find today. All the respect, of course,
That
but
takes work. That
I mean,
takes work.
Amazon. Yeah. When sometimes it happens. So I think that if you want to go through something real for you, you have to pass through this. I mean, you go deep. You have to go deep and research and trying and experiment and changing and also feeling the uncertainty. And
Yes, yes.
on this
The
point,
willingness to do things and maybe not get it right the
yeah,
first time, but then get closer.
yeah, or even just accept that you can't be perfect and good,
That's a
maybe
yeah,
sometimes.
that's a good that's yeah. I didn't even think of it that way. Yeah, that's a good see, that's why I'm talking to you, Chiara.
I love you, you
That's
know.
a good that's a good concept too. And I think we when we met and we were I think my friend Francoise came from Nice also to join us.
Yeah, yeah.
And you wouldn't have known, but I've known Francoise for many years before that. But I was so difficult that day. But even during that day, I think you did remind me of that process. It's like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to put you here. We want you to walk, or we want you to sashay, or whatever. But to remind me also that like part of the perfection is the imperfection.
Yeah, I really think so. I think that we have the great chance that COVID told us, no, you have to in some ways relate with the uncertainty. So being here today, being present, and just sometimes it happens that you don't know what's going on, even if it's something that you are doing by yourself. So it's a kind of discovering also part of you. I mean, okay, and of course, this passed through also through discovering other people, no, other cultures, other stuff, other photos, and all that I can put inside. So just being curious, maybe, and try to stay open. And I mean, I love the concept of presence because it's very, very easy today to not being present, no, we are always distracted, so we just try to stay here.
So tell us more about some of the transitions and some of the pivots that you encountered. Like you were saying, COVID was good for some people and others, especially creatives, to just kind of slow down and dig maybe deeper into a process or pivot into something else. I know that some of my friends who literally are on the road 45 weeks of the year came to a halting stop. Some of them had their business in order, so to speak, and some of them didn't. And some literally had been on the road since they were 15 years old and didn't know what to do with knowing that there was nothing you could do. You couldn't push it. You couldn't convince somebody. You couldn't say, well, this place is open, so I can go there. It was literally psychologically to some of these musicians and artists, something that they've never encountered where other people kind of thrived under this system because they were used to pivoting and used to doing other things to begin with. But as a photographer at that time, I think you were, I mean, I know because I saw your work doing so many shoots months in advance, weddings and artists and projects and things like that. How did you pivot, and is that pivot still a continuation now from when you started in COVID? Tell me more.
COVID was a big revolution for me because I was forced to not just stop, but also changing a lot. Because I mainly, but to not say only, work with foreign people. So I mean, not Italians, because this is not uh, my audience. Okay, so imagine when you find yourself in a
Which I
time.
find is interesting. We'll go back to that in a minute.
Okay, okay. So it was a great, big, and scary revolution to me because I just stopped. So I was thinking, okay, what to do now? What can I change? But then I realized that I simply want to go back to my roots. So find something more real to me. It was a great chance because I was on before COVID, I was on a very beautiful path. I mean, I was very happy about my career, but then everything stopped. And it was the big blessing to me because I was forced to find my voice again, my real one. I mean, not the one that it was to have more people looking at my work, but something more real to me. It was a very, very
You
great.
had to go back a little bit deeper to kind of
Yeah.
to push past some, and that's, once again back to the real. When I wrote that track, that was really what I was thinking about. It's like you really get so much fruit and energy from going back to your base, going back to the roots, going back to that, to be able to push yourself or reevaluate. I mean, as a musician, that's why we sing the same songs over and over and over again, but we always get something new out of it, depending on the time, depending on who you're playing with, depending on all sorts of things. And what did you go back to? What did you dig deep into?
More rawness. I don't know if it's right to say to be more authentic in a way that it's also more um, less aesthetic, less. I mean, aesthetic happens because the world we live in is beautiful, no? So it's very easy. You go around, you see a lot of stuff, but maybe sometimes you have to decide if you want to just show the very beautiful stuff or half and half. I mean, the more real one, no? So you can feel the beauty and terror together, like Rilke said, no? It's
And
all so in
yes.
the same
So
moment.
did you do a project around there? Is there a visual archive of this process from on your website or something there,
Oh,
to show that process? Because I know what you're saying, but
I
what I guess what I'm trying to say, can you say, and I hear what you're saying, get more raw, more authentic, but how does that look differently than before in your end product, I guess?
Oh, especially in the way you take photographs, especially in this way, because you have to, if you want to go through a change, you have to change. I mean, you have to. It must be something practical, no, not just theoretical. You have to do something, so you have to embrace a new way to view stuff around you is it in and as a photographer, especially one that is working a lot in a world where you have to be in a certain way. It could be very, very scary because I mean, it's a risk, no? Okay, so you're gonna learn or be back to your roots. So you
Safety,
have to
safety kind of thing.
really, yeah, yeah, you have to be, you have to love risk a little,
Yeah.
and you have to clean your view from everything you're looking at just right now. Okay, so kind of, okay, we clean everything, and let's
Hmm.
start. to see again.
I think also I clearly understand that process. Um, I also think within that process, and this is what I spoke about with Lacan the other day, is with that process, you have to trust yourself. Like you have to be comfortable and knowing that whatever is going to happen at the end of it, I'm going to be okay. I trust myself enough that that's going to happen. I know my work and worth before I decided to pivot and say, let's just have another clean slate. And I think that's where I'm meeting a lot of people where they're missing that part because I don't think you can be willing to take risks um if you don't trust yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. But
And I'm always encountering that because they're like, oh, Allegra, why did you do that, and why did you decide to go halfway across the world, or how did you think that da 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 da, and oh, you're going there, like. And so I'm like, well, yes, of course. We have a few more minutes left. We have about 9 more minutes left, but I said yes, of course. And I said the minute that I took fear out of my head into a way that I'm calculating certain things, that's when the world really opened up. And I knew within that calculations, there's going to be some losses, some tremendous losses, but I think when you have at an early age had some tremendous loss or some tremendous things that made you pivot, that muscle is pretty strong by the time you get to my age, right?
yeah,
And you can make those kinds of decisions. And I think if once people understood taking fear out of the equation would really open up their life and their practice and their interactions, I think we would have maybe a little bit more people taking risk and seeing a little bit more of the artistic side and the rawness of people going back to, like I said, well, why don't we have more this or more of that, especially when we have now the internet where you can see everything from all over the world, right? Like this is going to air on 16 by 16 radio in Africa. And that never would have happened if, we didn't take some risk. And so they will be able to experience you and your thoughts and things like that. But why do you think, I mean, that's a dumb question for, I was going to say, why do you think people don't take risks? I know why people don't. It's difficult. It's hard. It's uncomfortable.
but also I think that we don't know what we want. We think,
That's a good point.
yeah, I think that we are, I believe that we think to know, but it's not true for most of the people,
Yeah.
I think, because it requires a lot of work on you and a lot of cleaning, like we said before. So, okay, this is mine, this is not mine, this is from the society, this is from my family, from my partner. So you have to clean the path you're gonna pass through.
Which
I
means you also have to be thinking about these things and not rushing around.
Yeah, exactly. You have to take your time. You have to just pause and uh, try to half reflect and half feel, because this is another error we do a lot. No, we just rush in the thinking. We just rush in the feeling. Maybe we just be in the middle of this. I mean, just a very very dumb thing to say, being ourselves, which is the most difficult stuff to do.
It really is. Um, so we've heard a little bit about your process evolving and your mindset shift a little bit, or opportunities that you decided to engage in after COVID. I guess I have two questions now.
Yeah.
How are you deciding? Because obviously you have a clear path of beginning and before COVID and now through COVID. How do you archive your process on from film? And can you name one or two projects that you were really proud of before COVID and then after COVID?
I worked a lot before COVID. I work a lot with some of the um, most important I don't know how to call it organism in Europe, like the European Community. It was a kind of surprise to me because they decided to go with me. No, I was mainly shooting weddings that day, so they said, no, we want you to take care.
Yes,
It was very interesting. It was beautiful to have the chance to photograph people involved in a on a daily basis in giving peace and I mean safety all around Europe. The project was about heroes in Europe, modern heroes in Europe. So it was a
wonderful.
I was very proud of it. Today I'm working on a lot of stuff because I really feel that I know where I want to go for maybe for very first time in my life because I feel it very true to me, no, very as I said. So and it requires time, so I'm taking my time. It requires mm, that I have to go, and I have a lot of stuff in the also because I'm studying. I decided to graduate in art history, so I'm about to.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. I have to finger crossed because
Well, don't tell us too much because,
no,
I'm
no.
definitely a believer of just keeping things until they.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Is that a Napoli thing that I have inherited? That kind of you got to keep it
yeah,
there.
of course, of
I
course.
haven't forgotten my Napoleon people.
Oh, I wait for you. You know, I'm here whenever you want. Or I have to come to you. But by the way, Naples is your city too. So
Ah, thank you. You are welcome here anytime. And it seems like the heat is the same, so you'll do
yeah,
well.
yeah, I believe so.
So the next thing was, what are you proud of that's happening now? I mean, we have that you're going to do your graduation. You had
Yeah.
that project that you had before. And I guess in 3 minutes or less, can you tell us what what do you think you really want your legacy to be? Because you, like you said, you so for the first time, I know now what I want and where I'm going. So what would that legacy be for you?
Oh, simply as that, just do what I want to do. I mean, what I like, despite the people, despite the audience, despite everything. And that's the only way to do something good for you. I think so.
I agree. I agree. Are you still, I remember when I was there and you say, Allegra, do you do yoga?
Yeah, because remember our pose, no, like a yoga posers. It was
Oh
beautiful.
no, I don't know if it was the yoga pose. I think you were trying to slow me down. I think you
Yeah,
really were trying to calm me down, slow me down. And you said,
yeah,
Allegra, do
yeah.
you do yoga?
Yeah, yeah. I'm very fond of yoga, so it helps a lot. So
I'm happy to say I did do yoga, but really my thing is swimming. I find so much happiness in that calming thing that people talk about in yoga, I find in swimming. So you would be happy to know that I do that, and I can't really say if I'm a little more calm than when you met me, but I think I am. I would have to say that I am, and that's probably just because of age, not because of anything else.
oh yeah, but yeah, but wait, I just gonna tell you that age on me has the opposite because I
I
was really
see. You're exactly like your photo in
No,
the
no.
I say, "Oh my gosh, look at her. She's a
No,
supermodel."
no. I said, thank you. You're so kind. But I mean, in the inside. So at some point, I said, okay, I'm after 40. So what do you have to lose now? Anything. So let's go. So that's kind of stuff, no? So,
Yes, and I
so
think that's a wonderful way to be. And I think it's fantastic. We have less than a minute, but I agree that's a wonderful way to be. But I also have to give you credit because I think because of all of your work in the beginning, all of your sensible decisions, and maybe you didn't feel like everything was sensible, but I really feel you can get to this point when you've put in a lot of work, right? You have a lot of skin in the game. You've put in a lot of work. You've done, people have recognized your work. And then you can pivot off to do some more things because you've had that foundation, I would like to say, where now you get to pick and choose. And as my brother always had said to me before, that there are stages, and sometimes you have to be know what stage you are in order to maximize that stage. And so a lot of people who I'm speaking to at this point, they are in that not the middle stage, but